How would you like an iPhone as a budget smartphone? It's difficult to imagine, right? Well, with the recent price cut, the iPhone SE is effectively the budget iPhone. The 32GB variant of the SE is available for Rs 18,000 in India, which makes it a pretty good deal. But how does it compare to the Mi A1, which has been the best budget smartphone for quite some time now? Well, that's what we are getting into today. What's up guys, this is Rupesh from vbum.com, and today we are putting the iPhone SE against the Mi A1 to see which is the best budget smartphone in the sub Rs 20,000 price range. Before we get started, like always, I'd suggest you to hit the bell icon to make sure you don't miss out on our future videos. Now that you've done that, let's get on with the comparison. So here are the Mi A1 and the iPhone SE side by side, and I'm sure you've already noticed that the biggest difference between these phones is the size. The Mi A1 is a big smartphone with a huge 5.5-inch display. And on the other hand, the SE just feels tiny with its 4-inch display. Yes, the display is a bit too small when you consider it's 2017, almost 2018. I've been using the Mi A1 as my primary phone for a couple of months now. And the iPhone SE screen is just too small. Honestly, it's tough to go to a screen this small after having used phones with displays north of 5 inches. I mean, if you can live with a 4-inch screen, the iPhone SE has a pretty great Retina display. It's beautiful, sharp, and all around great. The Mi A1 on the other hand has a full HD 5.5-inch display, which is bright, large and beautiful, and in line with the current standards. The bigger display on the Mi A1 is certainly the more attractive of the two. The iPhone SE's small display does bring a positive, and it's the fact that the SE is just so compact. I mean, this entire phone is smaller than the display on the Mi A1. This means it fits in my hand perfectly and I can use the phone easily with one hand, something that I haven't been able to do with the Mi A1. I know a lot of people who want compact phones and small phones that fit perfectly in their hands, and for them the iPhone SE can be a great buy. Plus, this iPhone design that debuted with the iPhone 5 is by far my favorite iPhone design. The rectangular metal body design on the SE just feels amazing in the hands, and the SE just looks like a premium smartphone. The Mi A1 looks premium too, and has arguably been the best looking phone in this price range, thanks to its iPhone 7 Plus inspired metal design. But if I had to choose between the two, I'd say the iPhone SE looks more unique. Moving on to the camera, which is kind of the USP of the Mi A1 with its flagship dual camera setup. But don't just write off the SE already, because when it launched, the SE had flagship cameras. In fact, the SE has the same rear cameras as the 6S, which means the photos captured are pretty impressive. Here, take a look at some of the shots we took from the Mi A1 and the iPhone SE. As you can see, the iPhone SE focuses better and captures photos that are true to life, sharp, and honestly pretty amazing for a 1.5-year-old phone. The Mi A1 takes decent photos too, but it's a budget offering after all, and it shows. Well, the iPhone SE's 12-megapixel camera just beats the Mi A1's camera hands down. I mean, the best photo from the royal wedding recently was taken from the iPhone SE, not the Mi A1. On the front, the Mi A1 has a 5-megapixel camera, while the iPhone SE has a modest-sounding 1.2-megapixel camera. That sounds pretty bad, right? Well, the results are surprising. The selfies I took with the iPhone SE just came out better. I mean, there's noise in the iPhone SE photos, but the colors details are just way better than the soft photos you get with the Mi A1. And the SE handles exposure way better than the Mi A1 ever does. This is just the perfect example that megapixels aren't everything. The iPhone SE's front and back cameras are definitely better than the Mi A1, but the Mi A1 has the portrait mode thanks to its dual camera setup, something which the iPhone SE lacks. If only they had Google's algorithms. Anyway, the portrait mode photos from the Mi A1 aren't extraordinary, but they're pretty decent, especially when there's good light. Well, to sum things up, if portrait mode is important to you, the Mi A1 should be your choice. But if you want a better camera unit, both on the front and the rear, the iPhone SE is definitely the way to go. Then there's the performance. The Mi A1 packs an octa-core Snapdragon 625 processor with 4 GB of RAM, while the SE here packs the Apple A9 dual-core chipset with 2 GB RAM. When it comes to sheer benchmarks, the iPhone SE is again the clear winner, be it in single-core tests or multi-core tests, which is not surprising considering the A9 was Apple's flagship chipset at the time. While the iPhone SE wins by a huge margin when it comes to benchmark tests, the real-world performance is more closer. As I've said, I've been using the Mi A1 and the performance is as good as it gets in this price range. What I mean is there's occasional lag and stutter, but mostly the Mi A1 runs very smooth. On the other hand, Nawaz in our team has been using the iPhone SE for almost a year now. And according to him, the SE is a pretty solid performer, even with the much hated iOS 11 update, which is saying something. Overall, the performance on both the phones is pretty great, so you cannot go wrong with either one of them. But you'll have to choose between Android or iOS. Both the platforms have matured immensely and they both have their strengths and weaknesses, but you'll have to choose one. You can either go with Apple's ecosystem or Google's ecosystem. Plus, Mi A1 should receive the Android P update and the iPhone SE should receive the iOS 12 update. So the question is, which one should you buy? Well, the Mi A1 is obviously the more modern phone with its huge display, the dual camera setup, and the premium design. And if you buy it, you'd be perfectly happy with it. But the iPhone SE is a pretty capable smartphone, even though it's a 1.5-year-old phone. In fact, when I heard about the deal, part of me wanted to buy the iPhone SE. That's because the SE has a much loved design, a flagship processor, the cameras here are top notch, and it was the last iPhone to come with a headphone jack. Having said that, its small screen is its most glaring flaw, and something that can be a deal breaker for many people. Which kind of makes me think that if Apple releases an iPhone SE 2 at an optimal price of around $25,000, with say iPhone 7 specs and a larger display, not too large, say 4.7 inches, I'd be sold. Honestly, that would be amazing. But hey, it's Apple we're talking about, so chances are that ain't happening. Well, those are my thoughts on the iPhone SE and the Mi A1. Honestly, I was pretty surprised that the iPhone SE did so well against the Mi A1. Well, what do you think of the iPhone SE at Rs 18,000? Give us your thoughts in the comment section below. Also, give this video a thumbs up and share it with your friends who are confused between the iPhone SE and the Mi A1. And lastly, subscribe to our channel for more amazing tech videos. Well, that's me signing off. Thanks for watching and I will see you in the next one. And yeah, Happy New Year, guys.